What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to Nerd Media, and in this video, I have a question for you guys. Is there a bad Spider-Man movie? We're going to be talking about that question in this video because my answer is kind of like up and down. It's kind of like strange, but like it makes sense at the same time. You guys will see in the video. So with all that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below which Spider-Man film is your favorite, live action or animated. And with all that being said, let's dive right into the video. So the Spider-Man films have had some crazy ups and downs over the past 25 years, with most of the endings of their films not really sticking the landing, like with the ending to the trilogy with Tobey Maguire. Spider-Man 3 wasn't well received, but more people like it now as a cult classic. TASM 2 is getting more love by the year, I think, but it still wasn't really well received when it came out. And then obviously we have films like Far From Home that aren't really well received by fans as well. But then we obviously have some great ones in there like No Way Home, the Spider-Verse films. In my opinion, I think TASM 2 is pretty good. I also really do like Homecoming, and I really do love the first Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man film. I don't really think there has been a bad movie in the mix of all these Spider-Man films. I think that it's more so the concept of the actual Spider-Man film itself, where, for example, Spider-Man Far From Home is a good movie and it's enjoyable, but to me it's just not a good Spider-Man film. I like the idea of him going to a new place and we get to experience that, but I think that just overall, it's really just not a great story for Spider Man, especially because it's heavily carried by the Edith glasses that Tony gives him. And don't get me wrong, there are some moments in this movie that I absolutely love, and I really do enjoy most of the moments in the third act that we see because it's crazy. But there are definitely a lot of things that make me think this is not that great of a Spider Man film. And then you have something like Spider Man 3 or TASM 2, where those movies just aren't really well received because they just cram so much into their plot. Now, I do think on the villain side of things that Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3 handled that a little bit better because I just don't like the villains at all in TASM 2. I think they're very poorly developed, and I think we could have had a better story if they had just chosen between one of those villains to be the main villain of the film. But those two movies still have some great Spider-Man moments in there, especially TASM 2. TASM 2 has some of my favorite Spider-Man moments in a film of all time, and it really just defines the character for me in a lot of different ways in that film. So that is just so high up there for me with some of those moments. And I do think that there are a lot of great moments in the Sam Raimi films that have a lot of great defining moments of Spider-Man. There are obviously some really fun and awesome moments in Tom Holland's films. The last 10 minutes of No Way Home is just perfection and probably in my top 3, maybe even top 2 for Spider-Man moments on this big screen. Then obviously you have some absolutely amazing, spectacular films like Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse. Those are my two favorite Spider-Man films. I think that they are so well done, and they just, even if they don't have great Spider-Man moments, the whole entire film as a whole is great, and it's a great story to be told about a Spider-Man character and how they weave in the multiverse and still making it grounded. I talked about that in my Across the Spider-Verse video, so if you guys want to check that one out, you can go check it out. But I love those movies, and I think that they do a brilliant job at conveying a message that is so Spider-Man while also going totally out of this world into a multiverse stuff. I think it's done so well. So to answer your guys' question, is there a bad Spider-Man film? I don't think so. I think that all the Spider-Man movies that we have gotten are at the very least a good, enjoyable film. While it may not be the best and most ideal film for the character of Spider-Man, it is still a very fun movie like Far From Home, TASM 2, Spider-Man 3. Those are all still very fun movies, and they are probably the least well received of all the Spider-Man films, but they're still fun to me, and I think that that makes them for a good film. Then you have something like Spider-Man Homecoming, where I only have little small gripes with, or something like No Way Home, where I just think the movie visually does not look well, but I give it its props because it was made entirely during the pandemic, so they make do with what they could. So that isn't really a complaint for me. And then obviously the Spider-Verse films, I don't really have many complaints about those. I think if I do, they're just small nitpicks because they do not change how I feel about those movies in general. Then TASM 1, I think, is a very fun movie. It's not the best Spider-Man film, but I do think it's kind of on the same level as Far From Home. But it's still fun and enjoyable. We still get some really fun, genuine Spider-Man moments in there, along with getting some really great moments in the Raimi stuff. It's all pretty much just really great. And with all of these, with every single one of these Spider-Man movies, you could go through each one of them and at least find one little moment that is so Spider-Man and represents that character so well, to the point where you can't really consider it to be a bad film because it really has a great Spider-Man moment in there. As we look ahead to Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man Brand New Day, we are really, really itching for that perfect Spider-Man movie that perfectly represents the character, is grounded, has a ground of villains, somebody that we haven't seen before, and really tackles the emotion of Peter Parker and his messy humanity, to quote the director of Spider-Man 4. So I think that Spider-Man Brand New Day and Beyond the Spider-Verse have the potential to be the two best Spider-Man films, but that doesn't dismiss the fact that there are some really genuinely great and awesome and beautiful Spider-Man moments in each one of these films. No Way Home has the talk with all three of the Spider-Men. Far From Home has the Spider Sense scene. Homecoming has that scene where he's lifting the rubble. TASM 2 has the whole ending scene. TASM 1 has Peter swinging around with some beautiful visuals. Spider-Man 3 has Peter ripping off the symbiote, which is a really iconic scene that I think defines that character and that storyline so well. And of course, Spider-Man 1 has a lot as well. And the Spider-Verse films, don't even get me started. You got the Leap of Faith scene, you've got What's Up Danger, you've got some crazy Across the Spider-Verse moments, the one with Miles and his mom. It's like so great, and almost every single one of those scenes you could pinpoint as a great Spider-Man moment. But yeah, guys, with all that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below your opinion. Do you think that all the Spider-Man movies are at least good or have some really good Spider-Man moments in there, or do you just not really like them that much? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.